Okay, we have gone to a special conference. Is yeah, we got to meet the Bushiroad president and everything. And while we were there, we got to not only talk about, but actually play the upcoming game, Future Card BuddyFight.
BuddyFight!
Yep, even got some cards from it too. We are so boss.
Special cards, including
His business card.
Including his business card, which is a card, BuddyFight card.
Uh-huh.
They can do whatever they want over there.
And then we actually got something really special. A promo card in
We got
Japanese.
two Japanese drum bunker dragons with no effect.
Each.
But one of them we took the opportunity to get signed by the president.
Yeah, so we each have a card signed by him.
I don't know if these two do or not.
Oh, you did?
Well,
He
whatever.
didn't get it signed, but that.
I know
Oh.
Dan did. Dan got his signed.
I was too busy playing game.
So, yeah. So,
Yeah, so we learned about the rules, and maybe at some point I'll do a video with all the pictures up so you can see all the specific images and details of the stuff. But for now, we're just gonna word it.
before we get started talking about the actual rules of the game, do you want to just, since we have the cards out, talk about the cards?
Oh, we also got
Well,
free deck packs.
We only have one of the
We only
four
have-
card types anyway.
Well, I mean, just like the quality of them, because we
Oh,
don't
yes.
have
Oh yeah, you can
Card
talk about it
backs
if you
are
want. Yeah,
awesome.
the card backs are
They're
either
textured.
they're textured. They feel like plastic.
They're slightly larger than Vanguard cards. I checked it out.
Yeah, they're standard size. Unlike.
They're like Pokemon card size.
Yeah, so they're bigger, but they're thicker than Pokemon cards, which are almost as bad as Yu-Gi-Oh cards, if not
These
worse.
days, yeah.
These are
they-
some of the
they're
thickest cards I've
Did
ever
at some point.
held.
Yeah, I thought the Japanese Vanguard cards are thick. These ones are really thick.
These are nice.
Hopefully that'll stay when it comes here, since it's coming here at the same time it comes out in Japan.
Yes, the first two trial decks on sale the 24th.
24th,
I have
and then
it
the
written down.
booster
And then
is
31.
31st of January 2014.
Yep. And then each booster will be set apart by 3 months.
Yeah, so it's going back to a more.
Interspersed trial decks and extra boosters like you're used to from Vanguard and Weiss Schwartz and whatnot.
Interesting thing though, we are getting ours at the same time as Japan.
I just said that,
Oh
yes.
yeah.
Anyway, if I may continue, if you bring up a card again, we can actually talk about what all these stats mean now, because now we actually know. You're blocking everybody, Em. Just the card's fine. All right, let's start with the little number in the corner. It turns out that is a limiter.
Size is what they call it.
Yeah, size. Okay, monster size. What it does is it says what number it is to be on the field, and you can only have as many monsters that equal up to 3 with
So-
this thing. And to make it more simple, the monsters you have in the field can only equal up to 3 of this number.
So you
So
can have
you
3
three
one.
ones,
Three
or
ones,
2 and 1, or one
1,
gigantic
3.
3.
Which so far doesn't look to be a very good choice.
Yeah, but we'll get into that in a moment.
Yeah. Let's see. There's not much else to say about it other than it restricts it so you can't just play you know
You can't
everything
throw
on the world,
3
but at the
waves.
same time it makes it so you always have something you can play,
Yeah.
which is a nice change of pace. Next thing, I was right about the damage on the side. It is a critical.
That's how much it deals from a direct attack. Attacking other monsters doesn't do anything.
It does not.
Critical
It's
value anyway.
instead based on these other two numbers, which, as we also guessed right, where the red is the attack and blue is the defense. The attacking unit's red is fights against the blue of the defending target, obviously.
Yep, and
Tie goes to the
yeah.
As expected. Let's see, what else is important? Well, those are the important things about the cards themselves. As far as monsters go.
Yeah,
Yeah, at least for the
Race is
monsters.
important.
Yeah, race is important because they're effectively like clans.
to an extent. The flag does dictate what you can play, like we figured.
Yeah, the flag is you. As it is the thing that you equip.
So basically, you have Lord.
It's where you are.
Yep.
You're sitting there holding it.
And there are 3 other cards We don't have them because they didn't always give us, and we.
Yeah, the promo. It's just what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is. So, but we can still talk about them. Let's start with the quips.
Items,
Yes, the item cards.
which are player equipment. You want to have some in your deck, so in case you run short on monsters, that you can make attacks yourself.
It gives you an option to not be caught with your pants down.
Those decks seems to have like 4 of the little sword and 4 of the big one.
So yes, it was, which is actually has a use in this, and when we get to the game mechanics themselves.
I felt the little sword was never actually worth playing.
No, but it's definitely something you can throw away into your gauge,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is the thing we'll get to later.
I could be totally wrong. Not discarding cards is also pretty important.
That's true. Basically, that's what the items do. They give you the ability to attack and do damage. Nothing else that we know of,
All
anyway.
violence. And the interesting thing is that the player's attack is the safest in exchange for being, very dangerous to your own health.
Yeah.
So unless they've got a dragon shield to nullify your attack, they're taking it and they can't really counter or harm you in any way with anything else, at least as far as we saw.
Let's see, there's also spells. It's like the Dragon Shield and stuff like that.
They come in a lot of flavors. Anything that has the counter keyword can be used in response to opponent's actions. So the Dragon Shield is a spell that can be used on your opponent's turn. There are others that can be used whenever. The decks we were playing with didn't have many of those freelance spells though.
Yeah, as far as I know, I never even got one in my hand. I heard there was one that just blew up something.
Yeah, there was one that it was 1 gauge,
Pay 1 gauge,
and if the monster is 4,000 or less, destroy it.
kill it when they're attacking. So it's not an auto pop card. It's close. But
Close,
you can't kill something and then go in, so it's pretty balanced.
Yeah, it's set up in a way that's interesting. And of course, there's the Impact card.
Which are your big situational finishers that you don't want to play a lot of.
Because of the fact that the situation finishes, you're probably only going to get one chance to use them. If you mess it up.
Yeah, if you get interrupted on the turn you intended to play, you're probably going to die.
Yep, or if you do it before the proper conditions are set up for it to auto-win for you.
Yeah.
The one card in particular is the big sword thing. It was...
Gargantua, destroy...
Yeah.
No, not destroyer, but...
Yeah. It was a gauge of cost of 4 when you have 4 damage or less.
And neither player has a monster in the center row.
Yeah, it does 4 damage to your opponent.
And it can't be nullified or reduced or anything. You cannot stop it.
So, if you got your opponent down to 4 and you met all those other conditions, you win.
But it's harder than you think.
Yeah, it sounds easy, but trust me, I know from experience because I literally tried forcing myself down so I could use it, and I never got a chance before I beat them.
There was one time
I
where...
was disappointed.
There was one time where I was set up to win that turn, but he was able to stop one of my attacks that turn with a dragon shield or something, or a counter to keep me from killing his monster. So I came up short on damage and I couldn't play it, and well, I was dead.
Yeah, interesting card. It's just you don't want to run more of them, or else they'll be useless. But speaking of useless cards, there is a thing that we should start talking about, and it's the what's on the field, what your zones are.
So you've got your deck and drop zone, no problem there. You know what those are.
You got your 3 monster zones, left, center, or right.
You cannot move something once you've placed it there.
But you can
retire them to call in nuke monsters.
guys, if you didn't have something in front of you and now you need something to protect you for a while, you can play it in front of you and kill the other thing. Behind that is your flag zone and your buddy zone. You're out.
Where you put your equips and your chosen buddy monster.
Yep, your buddy so far has one real purpose. It's to give you an extra life.
Yeah, if you draw a duplicate of your buddy card, you can tap the buddy, play the duplicate as normal, and gain a life for it. doesn't seem like it's all that significant, really.
It's only significant if you can get another card that gives you an extra life with it, so you have an extra buffer.
It might do something with
Life gain is strong, as far as we can tell.
And then it takes us down
You can pile it up.
to the last one, the gauge.
Well, after you've drawn your 6-card opening hand, you
First.
put the top 2 cards
Yeah.
in the gauge.
Target your cards in the gauge. I guess we'll talk about the turn order too, since it ties into everything.
Yep.
It, after that, player 1 is not allowed to draw a card like normally, but they have the option to throw cards from their hand into the gauge zone to draw new cards.
We should also mention the thing that almost made Elliot wet his pants. You can do the
Yeah.
discard and
According-
gauge as much as you want.
Yeah, from what they told us, you can do this multiple times. Well, it doesn't give you anything, it doesn't give you new, like, number of cards or anything. It does help you make your hand
And,
not suck.
and also your gauge bigger.
Yeah. Which, for now, it doesn't seem to be too big of a deal because I've never had a problem not having enough gauge.
I did once, but that was because I didn't realize that rule was in effect.
I've always had, like, more than enough. I, like, never use it.
Like, it wasn't hurting me yet, but I was out of gauge, and I was like, I gotta fix that.
It does add up kind of quickly when you're throwing down drum bunkers and Draco Brave Swords and Dragon Breaths, all, in quick succession.
Yeah, and from there it comes the obvious factor of if you use all those cards at once, you have no hand. And therefore, it forces you to be conservative with it, even though you have the option. It gives you the ability to be aggressive and just go all out really early, but with the obvious price that you'll use up your cards too early, and then you'll have a bit of a drag trying to not die from it.
And then during your main phase, you can call whatever monsters you want, cast whatever applicable spells you have. There was one in that demo deck.
So that you could only use it once per turn.
Yeah, once per turn, if you had 5 or less life, discard your hand, draw 3, which is really, really good.
It is really
I
good.
used it a ton to save my life.
Because you can play a bunch of other cards before it, and then draw more, and hopefully get what you need to just go for the win right away. Because once you get down to 5,
It's time to
just die.
Yeah, it's time to get yourself ready to either do something or die.
Yeah, 5 is the danger zone.
You
4
never
is,
want
oh
to
God.
be at 4
Unless
if
you're-
the center lanes are empty.
Yeah. What's something you want to do when you're getting ready to use your the next thing we're going to talk about, your final phase.
Yep. You can play 1 impact card during the final phase if you're able to meet its conditions and costs and whatnot. These are your big finishers like we described way earlier. And that's that. It's over to your opponent.
Yeah, it's
Attacking is
really
cards.
yeah. You type to attack and stuff, but it's
Oh, we almost forgot something about attacking.
Yes.
What?
You can add up attacks.
oh yeah, that's a really important one. It's-
Multiple attacks can be conducted against one unit for boosting, essentially,
It's
in exchange for having less actions in a turn.
it's like we thought. The game is effectively if you took every trading card game you can think of and put it together into one card game. It's basically what this is. And
Delicious
it,
card game soup.
and
Plug in as you go, play what you want,
and
live,
yeah,
and
and it's best of all. All this stuff that we said is written in about four lists, not lines.
Four steps.
A
Yeah,
little
4 steps, thank you.
paragraph about the spell.
Brain work. 4 steps. It's
steps.
basically what your turn is. 4. It's even less than Vanguard.
it's just that there are several more card types that you gotta get used to.
there's more card types you have to learn, but it's really easy to pick up, get the hang of. Easier than Vanguard.
Yeah, like me and Rico got it
Say
immediately.
they do,
And you do what you can with them.
Yeah, like
It's
it took me months to learn Vanguard properly. This one just you pick it up and you go.
yeah. It's literally just pick up the game and play it. It's so easy. If you think this is hard, and I don't usually just say this straight up, if you really think this game is hard and when you play it, you're stupid. Sorry, there's no other way around it.
It's
It's
the
Fixing you.
most
You shouldn't
inviting
learn
card
anything.
game I have ever seen in my life, and it is so well designed.
yes, and this is coming from a person who could not get herself to learn Yu-Gi-Oh properly for a long time.
I still haven't learned Yu-Gi-Oh properly. Let's all be
This
honest.
is baby Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's baby. It's so
It's
easy.
baby Yu-Gi-Oh! It's baby magic. It's what Pokemon should be.
Yeah, it's basically what Pokemon should be.
Simplified Vanguard.
It's simple magic and simple Yu-Gi-Oh, which is a good thing because you don't want them to be hard to learn.
And
You
riskier Vanguard.
yeah, it's riskier Vanguard too because now there's
Baby's
things.
first card game.
But it's better than that because
it's
you.
like the Pixar of card
Shut up,
games.
you.
Everyone can
Shut up,
enjoy
you.
it. Okay, I'll shut up.
But it's more than that because even though it's easy to learn because of all these different cards and counter cards, you have to be smart when you play it. So
Sort
it's
of
easy
Anticipate if they've got
counters
answer,
or whatever.
attack in the correct order because it does matter.
It does matter. It's what Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh and all those things should have been. Easy to pick up, no problem. But lots of skill in them to play, not just one or the other. And because literally, I took 5 minutes to learn not only how the game worked, but how each of the cards worked.
Yeah.
It was not that hard at all.
And the effects of the cards are really simple. And
Yeah, they are.
written out.
None of them have been more than like think 3 lines.
Yeah.
I always tried to conserve cards,
This
but
game encourages you to do the opposite in early.
just sort
It
of
seems earlier
throw
on.
them out and keep the damage low,
Yeah, because
and save your super big draw card.
like we mentioned earlier, since the gauge doesn't give you extra cards, you're going to run out eventually, and when you do, you're going to start taking a lot of hits. You don't want to take that earlier than you can afford to. Otherwise, you're just going to
Because,
get over it, really.
the most loaded field can do about 8 damage altogether if you don't have an answer. Because you've got size 1 and size 2 that have like 5 together, and then the big sword for 3.
Oh yeah, if you include yourself, yeah, you can do massive enough damage if you're attacking with yourself.
If you have 3 Rapier Dragon, you can do 6.
Rapier Dragon dies so fast.
Yeah, Raven Dragon is amazing with his 5k attack and his like 2 damage,
No, it
but
was one defense.
whatever.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about defense, I'm talking about damage.
Okay.
You gotta let him finish, woman. Sit down. 5,000 power, 2 damage, but he has like 1 defense. He'll die to anything you attack with. Everyone kill him, but in exchange, he is a really easy thing.
He's
to play.
also immune to the Dragon Breath spell,
Yes, he is,
which
because
is
he's power.
very important.
Yeah, so he's also bigger than the dragon spell, so it's got its advantages for being a 1. You can spam him, and he is easily replaceable because he's a 1. But at the same time,
If you throw down all of them at once, they can just attack your Rapier Dragons, and now you have nothing, and you're like, oh god,
Yeah.
why?
but conversely, it's like if you go a 3, you have a big guy,
You're hard to
There's a
hit.
lot of 'em.
but in exchange,
He only
that,
has 1 attack.
you only got 1 guy, 1 attack.
If you put him in the center, if you don't, what's the point of having the big guy, really?
Yeah.
And for a while, I thought, oh man, he was really bad. But then I remembered, oh wait, you can combine attacks.
Yeah, at first, before we realized we could combine attack, it was like, well, this game just had a huge stalemate. Because it's like, my guy's 8,000, 8,000, and she doesn't have anything that can get over it. So I attack her, and she gets the counter thing. That, and it was like,
And I had to have somebody that had high enough defense in order to have the counter.
yeah, it had to be like that grade 1 with the 7k defense.
Yeah, it was
Oh, it was a great 2.
Whatever.
1-6?
Yeah, 1-6.
Size 1 guy.
Yeah,
He's
it
really
was,
good, by the
yeah,
way.
he is good. But it's like that was the only way you would do it. But then we found out, because we asked, that it's actually a gang up thing. So you can just have multiple guys attack it. They lose an extra attack to do it, but they get through. So
At the
it's
same time, like if you put all your eggs in one basket and you get hit by the counter, oh, my entire
well, I
turn
guess
stopped.
what we're saying is 2 seems to be the most even-handed one. 1 is the best one for just straight up rushing, and 3 seems to be nasty crap.
I figured
As far as we can tell,
At least from the cards that we've seen.
they might release some good 3s at
Well,
Tiger.
I'd have to assume that they will eventually make 3s that actually do something good for the exchange of you get 1 attack if you're lucky, 2.
Maybe let them do burn damage if they kill something in battle.
But for now, at least, it's like with the generic one, the vanilla one, you get 1 attack, 2 if you're lucky, but I don't know why you do with that, because he's a good wall. You hit out for a wall. And if he gets killed, well, you have no other defense. He's dead. And you have nothing else on the field. It's like, I would sooner do a field of 1s before that, just because even though they'll die fast, you can throw them out there and do bum rushes. Drumbunker is really, really good.
It's no mystery why he's the dude, because he can prevent his own destruction once.
He's got Utopia ability, but only half of it. And it's, of course, you can mix it up with those counter cards to save it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can go up to like 8k defense and power, and just wreck shit.
Yeah, he's really good, really good. It's like, jeez.
Did we explain the buddy call?
Yeah, we did.
We did talk about it. It was earlier. It's, but yeah, long story short, I guess we should talk about opinions of the game. Elliot.
Pretty solid.
Anything
I
else?
feel like there's some element to the game, strategic element, that I'm missing to really, get in the zone.
But you don't know what
Wreck
it is
phase.
yet, though.
Yeah. It'll probably come
He'll
with
probably,
cards.
yeah, when we get some more cards, it might figure out. The only thing I can think of is the game plays back asswards of how Vanguard plays when you normally blow yourself up.
Yeah, kind of.
It might just be a little bit of a growing pain.
Yeah.
It just feels weird to do it the reverse, because we've been playing Vanguard so long. In our heads, it's the right thing to do is block, later, and keep your stuff saved up in the beginning so you have plays later. So the idea of a game where it's better to block early and then take damage in the mid game
Is totally.
is weird.
Yeah, that probably is it. It's
It's-
kind of crazy. At
Yeah,
least
'cause
that's how we judge it right now.
yeah, that's how we're doing it now. It might change. We're
Yeah.
going based off of what may or may not be a trial deck.
Yeah.
It's like we don't even know that much. Cards in the deck. I forgot to mention that. From what we counted, it seemed to be 52, including the flag. And and your buddy, which might mean that you have 50 card deck with a buddy and your flag,
Could be.
being the extra 2.
The
Also,
flag is just a vanilla card. It's probably going to be in every trial deck.
Yeah.
we also forgot to mention the worlds.
Oh,
There's 3 different worlds, but only 2 are coming out with the first trial deck release.
Well, 3 in the first set. There's
Yeah,
other
first
worlds.
set.
Just started in the first
Because we already know about the existence of the
2 or 3 other ones just from seeing the anime cards.
Oh,
yeah, so it's like we know there's a bunch. It's just the first set's only coming with 3. But anyway, so that's his my thoughts. Katie.
It's pretty good. It was simplified, but it had a fine feel to it.
You.
I really liked it. I liked it a lot. It was easy to pick up. I really hope that people will support this. I know that's a long stretch, but
My final opinions is it's actually probably, at least from what we've seen so far, aiming to be like the best trading card game I've ever played. I never had a problem with the game slowing down too fast once I learned, that I could actually do things about certain things like the Great 3. And I never ran out of cards in my hand. And even before I learned about the multiple gauge thing, I never ran out of cards in there to do stuff. It's like you always have things you can do and you're always moving, which is something that not even Vanguard could do, because it always had the problem like the grade locking and the trigger sacking. It's like it does better than that. Yu-Gi-Oh obviously is made of nothing but sack. So I don't. So it's basically Yu-Gi-Oh with less of that. And don't even get me started on Magic.
So far, it seems like the only big problem is that Dragon Shield. It's a bit too
Yeah,
good.
the only real problem seems to be the things that actually it's
But
ironic.
it's a necessary evil because you need it to live.
Yeah, you need cards
But
like that.
it's such a big momentum swing during their turn.
It's funny that the real big problems are the ones that just act by themselves
Yeah.
because it's basically a free thing. Block their attack, get a life.
Yeah.
Something else you should learn.
If
Hey
you're losing horrendously, by losing horrendously, you have no sense. So, like,
But
after they kill your dude, you negate their next attack. They probably don't have another attack.
that's okay because from what we heard, we have a limited life gain. We can only get up
Yeah,
to
you can only get
20.
up to 20. You can't get any higher. But it's
I didn't ever go up to more than 12.
yeah, I never got past 11.
11 for me too.
So it seems life isn't gonna be a big deal. That's another thing too. You can't have endless life in this game, which is always a good thing.
Even when I opened up with 3 Dragon Shields, I didn't want to keep them. Because, yeah, negating an attack and gaining a life is big, but it's not worth not playing guys, and it's not worth going -1 every turn.
It's actually really brilliant in its design. The thing is set up in such a way that cards that seem borked, at least right now, are needed because if they weren't there, then there would be no answers. And conversely to the game's like field, displaying its own mechanics, all the things that seem like it'd be crazy to be there, like Elliot and I were having a conversation about the gauge thing earlier because they were going off of what they were thinking, and then we were going.
It was Wedgeford style, once per turn, drop draw.
And we were going off of what, at very least what I don't remember his name.
Not Takaki.
Yeah.
The Justin. No, it wasn't Justin. Whatever.
No, I was the guy who was doing the thing with on the overhead.
The one who had to leave for a flight?
Yeah, that one. We were going off of what he said. It is multiple times in a turn if you wish to. Obviously, you have to do it before you attack. So on the one hand, you can load up your gauge really fast in exchange for cards. But on the other hand, you're using up. Yeah, you never run out of gauge anyway. It's like that one will know 100% when they put the rules up on their official site.
Yeah.
But for the very least for now, we're going to talk about it if we get any more information as if it's what the guy said, since there's no written rules so far. We gotta go off of what he said, since he kind of is.
Kind of made it.
Kind of an
Yeah,
executive.
he's kind of an executive. We kind of have to go with what he said.
I mean,
And we asked him like 3 times. I can't assume he was lying to us.
yeah, no. I mean, if you're high enough to go traveling around with the president, you got to know what you're talking about.
So that's what that is. It's good game. If I had to give it a rating just from what we saw, probably a 9 out of 10 so far.
9.5 out of 10 for me.
Because there's only one real problem, but it's a problem we can't take out of the game, because then it would just make the problem worse for a different reason.
How do I live?
So
There'll
yeah,
probably
it's-
be more defensive cards in the future, though.
yeah, but that's like I said, this is only based off of what we saw. It could change with new cards. Better cards might show up. Counters to counters might even show up for all we know.
This might go full Yu-Gi-Oh with countering.
But it'll be
You
countering.
can't,
It'll be-
because you only get to play one counter.
Yeah, it will
every
literally be.
attack.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
either get to do once, but then they get to do no you, and that's the end of it. It
Yeah.
stops right there.
Another thing I just remembered. We're getting free DVDs and free comics.
Oh yeah, free DVDs and free comics for the first few episodes and chapters. We're gonna take it to me, and we probably won't be seeing actual manga to buy here.
Nah, probably not.
And I already asked him. He said he doesn't have intention of putting the TV show on our TV here because our censorship is stupid.
And it's
Which I
a
knew.
lot of trouble to jump through the hoops to get things airing at the time you want them to.
It's true too. Although I still would suggest if it gets popular enough, they should definitely put it on.
It seems like they intend to air the English dub within a week or so of the Japanese episode.
So yeah, they're dubbing it very quickly too.
Well, English stuff.
A week after it airs in Japan is pretty fast.
Yeah, they're gonna be doing it.
That means they're doing. That means they do it there, and then they send the footage to Canada and get them to dub it like a few days later.
Actually, what they might be doing is that
Bunch of things
each
in
of
advance.
Yeah.
they might actually be doing it where they're giving the script of each episode to the English dubbers as the episode's being made, so that way they're getting dubbed at the same time in both languages.
Oh,
You
that
don't need
it's.
to remove the original audio, maybe. I don't know.
No.
However they're doing it,
They're doing it faster. They are really into making this thing
They want this
happen.
to succeed.
They want this thing to be more than Vanguard, it seems.
They want this
Because
thing to
they-
take off and be worldwide.
Yeah, they're going all over the place and promoting this stuff. They're gonna have banners on all various places. You know, not just YouTube.
You'll see them around the internet.
They'll just be popping up everywhere. It's like they actually want this to get off the ground here.
I've gotta say, the guys at Bushiroad have kind of outdone themselves. Whoever they've got making their games is doing a really good job. Like just
Especially
like-
nowadays, unlike those older games.
They've progressively improved their stuff.
Yeah,
they
I
learn
know.
from each game, and then they're like, well, let's try this.
Yeah, let's try
Yep,
this and
it's,
let's not do that again.
Very good chance. My only fear is, well, if you guys know my problem with the stereotypical players of Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh, is that they won't give this kind of game a chance, even if it's a really good game.
I also hope they don't do what they're doing with Magic now, where they're just like experimenting a lot, like a lot of shit experimentation at the same time. If it doesn't work, just
Magic. That's what
Next.
playtesting is for.
So excited. Oh no, it's fine. You can go. And it's well, you know, that's true, but that's besides the point.
Yeah.
The point is that
Give this a chance, people.
yeah, my point is give this game a chance. I don't care if you played Magic
I don't care if
and
you
like
played
it's
another game
for
or don't.
years. I don't care if you played
Right.
Yu-Gi-Oh for years. I don't care if you played Pokemon for years. I don't care if you played Vanguard for the 2 years it's been here. This game deserves a chance.
Most likely, this game is going to be cheap since they're aiming it at a younger audience.
Yeah, and it's going to be even cheap, probably as cheap if not cheaper than Vanguard.
Yeah.
There's no reason not to get into this game other than people just not wanting to try something new. And I find it to be a shame that there exist people that won't give things that deserve a chance because they are too into their games that they're used to actually try something new.
There's a very big problem nowadays with everything, with no one trying anything new. So please try to
Yeah.
break this habit.
Like, say what you will about
Try this
Japan
once before
stands,
you
they
touch it.
at least have a billion card games over there, and everyone's playing them. Freaking, what was it called? Battle Spirits is still big there. Do you remember Battle Spirits when it came here?
I've actually never heard of that before.
It was only here for like a year.
Duel Masters never died because they cared.
Yeah, I think this deserves that kind of chance. So do it, people. You hear me? Do it. Anyone else?
Do it.
Well, that's all for this video. Don't think I can think of anything else to say. I know we haven't had a whole lot of videos going up at one time recently, but it's been an uphill battle due to certain one of us, not the one in the striped shirt here, having other things that in their lives that they're having to work towards.
And Pokemon.
And Pokemon this week. What are you doing?
I was being a troll in the corner.
Anyway. I will try to get videos up at least twice a week, but I can't make guarantees, at least not at the moment, but we'll at least try to keep things updating at least weekly. And just bear with us, at least for now. Bye, everybody.